Happy Superman Day. And you know what? I thought it was a perfect time and opportunity to jump off the series that I've been working on called Versus. It's where I pit two movies, characters, whatever it is against each other, and I decide my opinion, of course, because that's all that really matters, which is the best. And today, I'm jump starting it with Superman the movie versus Man of Steel. Which do I believe is better? And how it works is each installment is going to have five categories, and it pertains particular to what we're talking today. So in this one, it's going to be action, best supporting cast, best villain, best Superman portrayal, and finally best score. And at the end of each category, I'm gonna pick who I believe is the best, and then at the end of the episode, I have the winner. And without further ado, and by the way, before we continue, massive L on my part. As you can see, this is not a Superman shirt because it's currently in the wash. I hold a massive L for it. Last minute planning. What can I say? But enough of that. Let's get straight into it. The very first category that these two films will be battling against each other are the action. And yeah, let's be honest. This is this category is gonna be very lopsided because Superman the movie doesn't really have any action. That's not how that film was built. But we're talking about comic book movies here, and it'll be blasphemy to leave this category out. It's a no brainer. It's what these films are, these films, comic books, etc. are built upon. And by default, the winner is simply Man of Steel because in Superman, he's doing a lot of saving. Like he's saving cats out of a tree. He's saving Lois Lane multiple occasions. He's doing the Good Samaritan aspect of Superman, which he's very much well known on that aspect, but there's not much action. He's not going toe to toe versus somebody. But in Man of Steel now, him versus Zod, Fiora, and all of them, it's a sight to behold. When a modern day film, could be compared to a grand scope as an anime, because a lot of the fight scenes of Man of Steel are being compared to Dragon Ball Z film, the anime, which is widely known as one of the most epic fight sequences. Period. You have Superman, his first go around going against toe to toe versus Zod, who is just a savage machine, well trained from Krypton in this new verse, and they're going toe to toe at it. You're seeing for the first times they're fighting in the sky, being thrown to buildings, banks blowing, trains being exploded. Superman getting caught by I believe by his foot by one of the brolic dude, I forgot his name, getting slammed like you would see Hulk did on Loki in the very first Avengers film. The action here is spectacular, man. It has different forms of action. Like I said, you have the flying, you have the power sets with the lasers being used. It's just, this film brought everything action wise that these fans have been craving for. We've been subdued to Superman the movie, Superman Returns by Brandon Roth, which is also lacking super action wise. If you know why, you know why. But yeah, that's simply, it's a no brainer who wins this category, and that's Man of Steel. In the next category, this one's gonna be a lot more even. It's not gonna be lopsided, and I believe action was the only one that's pretty lopsided. This category is best supporting cast. And you're probably scratching your head, why does that matter if we're talking about Superman? But these type of heroes, like they're lifted depending on how their supporting cast is portrayed and who's in the film. And we'll start off with Superman the movie. Here you have Jimmy Olsen, you have Lois Lane, and you have Lex Luthor and stuff like that. But those are the main cast as far as this film goes. You have the beginning of the film when in their Krypton, when you have General Zod and all of them, which is not in this film is just leading on to the second film, but that's the main supporting cast. And then Man of Steel, which is pretty much almost identical, minus the Lex Luthor side. You have General Zod, you have Lois Lane, no Jimmy Olsen, you have Perry White, and I believe that's the and Martha Kent as well. Jonathan and Martha Kent on both sides. I forgot about that as well, as far as supporting cast. But now the real question is, who portrayed them better and who had a more impactful presence as far as the films go. And believe it or not, I'm giving the slight edge to Superman the movie. And my reasoning is the Lois Lane chemistry was phenomenal. Honestly, one of the best as far as comic book genre movies go, because a lot of the time the romantic side of things are thrown aside and it feels force fed, and which is where I'm headed with Man of Steel. Amy Adams is a world class actor. She's been in numerous amazing films. She knows how to act, but I felt like she was miscast in this series as Lois Lane because the chemistry between her and Clark Kent, it really felt far fetched, and I think the biggest dishonor that happened was it really cut the film and the chemistry off by its knees is by Lois Lane realizing that Superman right off the bat. There was no suspense. There was not that playful back and forth, and then the amazing reveal, like, oh, that's Superman, like you would get in the Superman the movie. Like the duality between him being Clark Kent and him being Superman and Superman the movie was phenomenal, and I felt the comic book accurate relationship between Lois Lane and Superman and Superman the movie. Like Christopher Reeves, like wonderful job, man, absolutely wonderful job. It ripped right off the pages, and also Jonathan Kent and Martha Kent, they're both in each film, but I think they cancel out each other because they're pretty much both good. But I will give Man of Steel a slight edge as far as that aspect goes, because Martha Kent played a huge role. Jonathan Kent played a unfamiliar role from their comic book wise, but he was impactful as well. But I just felt the edge goes to Superman the movie, all because of Lois Lane, who is his biggest supporting cast as far as that goes. And you have Perry White, which was amazing in Man of Steel, and you have Jimmy Olsen in this film. So it all cancels out. The winning factor is Lois Lane. Next topic or category is the villains. And yeah, I said it's not really lopsided. I kind of lied because the winner here for me is Man of Steel. Michael Shannon's portrayal of General Zod is not only the best out of these two with Lex Luthor's and Man of Steel, but Michael Shannon Zod is one of the best comic book villains. Period. He does not get enough respect, and I understand. People feel a certain way about the Man of Steel films, but okay, that's a different topic for another day. But he played it in such a terrifying, menacing, like you understood where he came from right off the bat. He had a purpose. He was banished in the fandom zone, came back, tried to bring his people back at any means necessary. And it's not just that, the dialogue written for him. Oh my God, absolutely terrifying. The back and forth, the between him and Jor-El, played by Russell Crowe, was phenomenal. And then when he finally met with Henry Cavill's Superman, whew, the fact that he forced Superman right off the bat to break his number one or one of his first rules of not killing people, and forgave him. I don't care what the internet says, he had no choice but to snap his neck because he was not stopping. That family was done for. Dunzo. It was nothing that Superman could have done except that result. And the fact that he forced their main character in a corner, man, and like he had Superman acting out of character. Went off on him after he threatened his mom at the farm, snapped his neck. Like these are just when a villain could really push the boundaries of your superhero, especially a superhero as Superman that has these morals and values that he does not break and then right off the bat it's broken, that speaks volumes in itself. And the other hand, Gene Hackman, I believe, it played Lex Luthor. Very anticlimactic as far as a villain goes. And to be honest, this is to me the root of the problem of Superman nowadays because we're hearing about how it's so hard to make a good Superman film. It's hard to make a challenging villain, this and the third. And I think that stems from Superman the movie because this Lex Luthor, anticlimactic, he had this one little plan of the missiles and having Superman choose with like it, but that was fixed and done with within 2 minutes of it being, explained. I'm like, okay, that's it. So it left me very lukewarm and not satisfied. And his portrayal as Lex is not. I don't know. He's surrounding himself by these lesser, characters, IQ wise, and he was not menacing and manipulative enough for Lex Luthor, in my opinion. As far as villains go, you don't hear him being talked about nowadays, and the movies from 44 years ago. So that speaks volumes, and that's why I have Man of Steel winning the villain category. Next up, the fourth category, which is an interesting one, the best Superman portrayal. This was tough. This was tough, but not also tough at the same time. And the winner to me is simply Superman the movie, only because the Superman that we got in Man of Steel is not quite the Superman that we know from the comics. But I also understand why Zach went the way he went with this Superman. He made a more realistic to the times portrayal of what somebody coming out in I believe 2013 would be experiencing, and that's 100% factual. But that's not the Superman on the comic book pages. That is Superman the movie to the T. Uh, he's a Boy Scout. He gets made fun of that from everybody. That's one of my biggest issues with Superman because they tend to lean on the lighter side of things. Such a powerful being, and he's out here saving cats from the trees, saving Lois Lane from what is it, falling in that crack and stuff like that. I'm like, there's so much more that you could do. But that's the comics. That's how he started out with, and especially in 1978, those were all the values. This was straight ripped off from the Action Comics of the old Supermans. He had that charisma as Clark Kent. He had that charisma as Superman to the point that you could feel like there's two separate characters. Christopher Reeves played that character to the T. To the ripping off the jacket to where you could see the Superman costume and the emblem. That was finally done for Henry Cavill, but that was all the way towards the end of Justice League. That was the last, I think, shot we've ever seen of Henry's Superman in the DCEU. But that, from the first film, you see that. And you also get the look of him looking at the phone booth because, in some portrayals, he's changes in the phone booth. But that's Superman to the T. He's a good Samaritan. He's a Boy Scout. That's just, that's his character in the comics. So I gotta give those aspects, as far as we're talking about Superman portrayal, to the T. But that's who I have winning the best Superman portrayals. Now the last and final category, and if you're not right now, it's 2-2. Action and villain goes to Man of Steel. Superman portrayal and supporting cast go to Superman the movie. 2-2. This is a exciting round, and I have it. Best score. This was by far my toughest category. By the slightest, I gotta give it to Man of Steel. I know pitchforks. I know you guys are angry because the epic John Williams score from the 1978 is still being played to this day. I understand how magical and special it is. But I gotta ding some points because when I hear that score, I also hear Star Wars when the opening crawl starts and stuff like that. It's too familiar. that score is not just Superman itself, in my opinion. And also, it's still being played to this day. But I felt Man of Steel by Hans Zimmer. I believe it's the Flight. It's called Flight. Oh my God, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It's updated. It's heroic. It's edgy. It's exactly what a modern day Superman would need. It breaks barriers as far as like it's. I hear that score everywhere I go. It's not just in the film. I hear it. I play it in my car. Like phenomenal score in my opinion. Hans Zimmer gets the edge because it's to Superman itself. Like you can't hear that and automatically assume another movie or whatever. I just think that it sets itself apart versus the 1978 score, which John Williams, yes, he is the goat as far as composers goes for this thing. I'm not taking anything away from him. I understand that great score, but just like the film itself, does not age quite as well. And we're talking about Man of Steel came out 9 years ago and it's still a banger in my opinion. So I gotta give the score to Man of Steel, and that closes it out actually as the winner of this versus as Man of Steel. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, Man of Steel wins in my opinion. I understand the horror. I mean horror. What am I talking about? I understand these film lovers are gonna think I'm crazy because Superman does the movie gets put up in such a pedestal that you can't really say anything bad about it, and I understand that. But Superman the movie is not perfect, and to be honest, I did a rewatch for this video itself, and prior to that, I haven't watched that in a couple decades. And last time I watched it, I was very underwhelmed. Like to me, it's a perfect film that come out in the '70s. It plays the tones, you know, the writing styles are all aged to the '70s, and to me, this film, Superman the movie, doesn't age well. At 44 years old, I understand, but damn, like I will say age is better than some 44-year-old people, but it doesn't age well as far as 2022 because I was watching it and I'm like, I don't know if these themes work for this modern day life that we live in. But Man of Steel, 9 years later, it still feels pretty tangible as far as an alien coming from another planet dealing with society. Come on now, you think he would be loved and put in this pedestal? No, no. And also, Superman the movie is a very anticlimactic movie. The third act was just him going around saving people. Like I said, the main villain was a throwaway. How do you have Lex Luthor, the god of his when you go through Superman villains, that's number one in my opinion, and the plan was just I don't know. And also him figuring out kryptonite is his weakness and how it works. I'm like, who in the fact that he even knows it's called kryptonite. There's a lot of plot holes in this film that, you know. And I also really did not like how they had the cojones to kill Lois Lane right off the first film, which was shocking when you first seen it. But then it gets undone right off the bat, and he turns the world around in its axis by going fast, which I did not like that. I did not like that at all. But yep, Man of Steel to me, yes, I understand. It's not your typical Superman portrayal, but it really holds a mirror to society and asks the tough questions. If somebody like that would be announced nowadays, how would you treat him? And I think you get the answer by this film itself. The action was hard hitting, the score hard hitting. Henry owned that character as this troubled Clark Kent, troubled Superman. Phenomenal film in my opinion, and it gets the win in my vote. And there you have it, my very first versus battle, Superman the movie versus Man of Steel, and Man of Steel coming on top. I hope you enjoy this because I will be doing a lot more of this, and actually in a couple weeks I have another one coming up, so stay tuned for that one, and it's actually MCU based. Ooh, it's a good one too. I've been waiting for that. So let me know in the comments below if you're digging this, if you like this, if you like the video. And until next time, I'm Kevin Demos, and I'm out.